skills and that sort of thing. And then, you get them under your wing. And so many of these players already are.
Yes.
Considered in silos. Nike, that's a Nike kid. That's an Under Armour kid. That's an Adidas kid. Why not extend it and further cut out the college middleman, so to speak? I wouldn't be surprised if those ideas are percolating in places even beyond the high reaches of the Dan Patrick Show.
Pat Forty, Sports Illustrated College Sports senior writer, had Chris Fowler on the show earlier in the week, and we talked about if there's going to be lost revenue with college football and the trickle down with other sports here. I'm wondering, can you rip up that contract that ESPN has with college football with the Final Four, and then we extrapolate this and make it the Sweet 16? All options on the table, but do you think that we can get to that point this year?
Well, college football has been the hardest entity to get to change anything over the centuries.
Sure.
But all contracts are made to be broken, and there's never been a time that really looks as economically challenging as this one. So, it would not absolutely shock me. They could even bill it as a one-time thing to see how it goes, and then, if it's not good, we can go back the other way. But, the football cash cow is so vital, and if it's going to be compromised, and I think we've already started to see some of the repercussions of it, of sports being cut and pay cuts all over the place and staff being reduced, furloughs, all those sort of things. If there is an easy fix, a relatively easy fix, 16 playoff, 18 playoff, 12-team playoff, 16-team playoff, one time only, let's see how it goes. Yeah, I think it could happen. And given the hunger in sports media and in college athletics for revenue and what's not coming in now and may not come in for several more months, it would not shock me.
And I just thought of this. JT Daniels, the big-time recruit at USC, just entered the transfer portal. He was, heralded as a, next great quarterback at USC. And I started to think about this. Did Ed Orgeron recruit JT Daniels at USC, and therefore Joe Burrow is gone? Hey, come on down here to Baton Rouge. I'm just thinking out loud here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe some early stages recruiting. But JT left high school actually a year early.
Yeah, that's true.
So he was a young freshman, and he was the starter. But sure, a guy like that. Look, people really liked his talent. He was thrown into the fire as a young freshman. By the end of the year, he was playing pretty well. The game against Notre Dame, I remember he was good. And then, he gets hurt the next year, and then Keaton Slovis comes in and is really good and definitely the favorite of the offensive coordinator, Graham Harrell. So, this is a high-quality quarterback suddenly on the market. Now, he's going to have to sit almost assuredly, but, I would think he would be super attractive to LSU and anybody else that needs a quarterback.
Yeah, I know they got Miles Brennan, but if Ed O recruited him when he was at USC, and, I don't know. Yeah, just a thought. That's all I do. I just think.
You know what? We need your thoughts.
Not always.
We have nothing to do but think.
Yeah.
Nothing else to do.
Hey, it's great to talk to you as always. Hope the family's safe, and we'll keep reading.
You too. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
Pat Forty, Sports Illustrated College Sports senior writer. Take a break. We'll have our play of the day coming up next here on the Dan Patrick Show.
Gentlemen, the National Day calendar has been a little sparse lately, but I saw one yesterday that I kind of forgot. Yesterday was National Eggs Benedict Day. I don't know if I speak for all of us, but I love Eggs Benedict. It's a treat. You don't have it every day. You have it maybe 3 or 4 times a year. You guys feel the same way?
Yeah, it's almost like a dessert. That's how rich it is.
It's fantastic. I love Eggs Benedict. Does anyone know the origin for Eggs Benedict? I did not know, but now I know.
Came from the Benedictine monks,
Ooh,
actually.
that
back
is
in the...
absolutely incorrect, Steve. I would have bought that if you would have just told me that.
I was trying to deliver it like I knew the answer.
You
But...
sound like you knew your what?
and
Yeah.
comment on
Benedict
our.
Arnold?
I wanted to
Absolutely not. No, it's the
comment
opposite.
on the
It's a good
Zoom
thing.
party.
In
when you get a second.
1894, Lemuel
Okay.
Benedict, a Wall
Go
Street
ahead.
broker who was
Oh,
suffering from a hangover,
I'm wondering if
ordered
we
some
can
butter
take
toast,
breaks
crisp
from the
bacon,
music
poached
to like
eggs, and hollandaise sauce. This is
chat,
from the New
because-
Yorker magazine.
when you're at like a real
He was at the Waldorf
party,
Astoria
like dance
Hotel in
party
New
or
York. The,
Sure.
legendary
usually
chef
people
However you want to do it.
Oscar
people
Chersky
still want to like chat.
was so impressed by
Yep.
this concoction that he tweaked it
It's
a little
fine,
bit and
however
put
you
it on
wanna
his
do it.
breakfast and lunch menus.
It'll,
Substituting
good
Canadian
chance
bacon, crisp bacon,
good chance it
and
screws
toast
this
that
thing
goes
up,
off
but
of
it's fine.
toast.
Just-
See,
just-
this is the kind of infamy I would like. I would
Just
like to
'cause
be
it's-
named after a
It's fine.
I don't know what
Yeah.
we're gonna like.
Like,
If we're just
Lemuel
sitting here,
Benedict,
like
he's going wire to wire,
I guess
right?
people will
This
be
isn't
like
going
doing
bad.
their own thing at
But
home.
don't you want it
You're
to
kind
be
of singing
Benedict's
the music in
eggs
the
as
background.
opposed to
Yeah.
eggs Benedict?
Okay.
I don't
It's
know.
fine, though.
He's in,
We
he's
can
in the
figure it out.
conversation.
We'll work it out on the fly.
Like 100 years from now,
I'm just making sure it works.
Order eggs Benedict.
Because it sounds like if it's eggs Benedict, it sounds like, well, how did you cook those? Oh, you have to Benedict them.
Yeah,
Oh, like it's some type of like style of cooking or something.
as opposed to they're Benedict's eggs.
Yeah.
So historically, he got Benedict over.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh,
Wow. Wow. Exactly. Yolks on you, Todd.
Yeah.
Oh!
Toddler.
Yeah. Got nothing for that.
He's the lead singer of the heavy metal band War. He's odorous. Back in the green room, getting ready to go. Putting on war paint. He will come out, and we'll talk to him for a little bit. He's going to sit in McLovin's chair. He would like to be a Danette for a day. I was hoping it would be Brooklyn Decker or Chrissy Teigen or Kate Upton. Nope. We got the lead singer of Guar.
Come on in, man. Come check out the man cave, dude.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure you've seen we got... Can you get in? Can you fit? I never thought we'd have this. Hoop. You know the wall morale right there. Pretty sweet.
Everybody dream! This isn't a cave at all! If this is a cave, I want to get your interior decorator's number. Mine looks like crap compared to this one.
What do you think of this?
Whoa! Daniel Patrick! You are my second favorite Daniel after Daniel Boone.
What?
Bringing this downstairs
The lead
so
singer.
that it'll lead downstairs to do tummy time.
Hello!
Because it's the most padded for the hardwood, and then I'll bring
Good to
this
see
in
you.
our
Otis.
bedroom.
This microphone is
So
dead.
maybe
No, you're good. A big fan of the show, apparently. You're well versed in wanting to be a Danette. So when you're on the road, you're watching the program.
Well, actually, I listen to it more often than I watch it. In fact, I was just commenting to Fritzy. I thought Fritzy was a heck of a lot fatter than he really is.
If you were going to describe a Guar performance, somebody who hasn't seen the performance, how would you give me Cliff Notes version of what they could expect?
Well, it depends on if it was somebody I liked or not. If it was someone I didn't like, I would lie to them and say it was very much like the tribute to Don Ho show that's going on at some crappy casino in Las Vegas. For someone that I did like you, Dan, I would say we are the ultimate shock rock metal theatrical extravaganza band combining political satire, hideous medieval torture methods.
If there was a band off between you and Kiss, as far as just better look,
Oh, well, you know, what can I say about Kiss? I pretty much stole everything from them. I'm not going to deny it.
does Gene Simmons know
There's
this?
one thing I will do with Guar that Kiss did that I will never do, and that's make money. I also won't lie to my fans and say that it's the last tour ever, and then just do it again next year for twice as much money.
You're going to be our temp for the day, sitting in for McLovin.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yes.
Have you ever had Lemmy from Motorhead on the show?
No, I have not, but that's a legend.
He's a legend.
Yes,
He's a
he-
legend. I met him one time. I just done a show at the Palace in Hollywood. I stumbled off stage, covered in blood. Lemmy came up to me and he said, "I hope I'll never have to work that hard."
Oh my God!
The play of the day. This is the play of the day.
Check this out.
Here's the pitch to Smith. Drill.
throw toward left field. It's in the alley, and it is gone. That's a home run for Schmidt. He has hit 4 straight. He drilled it. It was not his hardest hit of the day, but he's got his 4th consecutive home run.
On this date, 1976 at Wrigley, final score 18-16. Cubs against the Phillies. Mike Schmidt became the 10th player ever to hit 4 homers in a game. Today, 18 players have done it. Little Hall & Oates there, Philadelphia's own. That's courtesy of the Phillies radio network. I don't know if Mike Schmidt is the only guy who's ever homered off 2 brothers in the same game. I think he hit a home run off Rick Russell, maybe 2 off Rick Russell, and then Rick's brother Paul came in, and I think he hit his final home run off Paul Russell. Play of the day brought to you by LegalZoom. LegalZoom's made it easy to set up the right estate plan without leaving your home. Take care of your family today with the right estate plan at LegalZoom.com. Yeah, Paul?
Yeah, growing up a Cubs fan, I'm not sure why we're playing this because it seemed to me that Mike Schmidt hit 3 home runs every time he came to Wrigley Field. And I think he hit his career average was probably like 740 or something.
Yeah, I don't know why the Cubs didn't try to trade for Mike Schmidt.
Oh.
Yes, McLevin.
I would rush home for day games just to see Schmidt play there.
Well, I think the wind was blowing out that day, hence the 18-16 score. But Schmitty, following up with the same game plan, blueprint as Hank Aaron, used his wrist. And if you watched him, Schmitty, it wasn't like using lower body as much or bat speed. It was just the flick of the wrist. And Hank Aaron did that, of course, and to me, the greatest home run hitter of all time. Yes, Todd?
I'm not one to talk about the Russell brothers. Those were some big boys, if I recall correctly.
They were.
My baseball cards.
Yes. You could have been the 3rd Russell brother, I think.
What?
Well, Rick
I walked
and
into that
Paul.
like that.
Yes, you did. McLevin, how are we on the poll question?
So I did put up Bulls, Lakers, Celtics. Bulls are the best team from 1980 to 2000. Recency bias, but this sparked another debate amongst the Danettes.
Okay.
So I'm not going to say which Danette. It wasn't Paul. He said that all Chicago has is documentaries about titles and deep dish pizza, which led us to a discussion.
Wait. That's you who said that.
Yes, that is me. Who said
Okay.
that. So, which of our cities, the 5 of us, has the best signature food? Now, Philadelphia obviously has cheesesteaks, which you had yesterday, which sounded delicious.
Yeah, they were good.
I think I have the best signature food. Is there anyone in the room that has a better one?
I'm not a deep dish pizza guy. I like thin crust. Brooklyn pizza is better than Chicago.
Thank you.
I'm from Cincinnati. I get Skyline and Gold Star chili, which...
Overrated.
Yeah. What's Jersey have?
Pork roll?
Pork roll. Is
We
it
have pork roll?
Pork off.
Pork roll, by the way, is probably one of the finest things ever created that nobody knows about. But it is just...
What are the ingredients of a pork roll, aside from the pork and the roll?
I think it's like pork byproducts. It's sort of like a scrapple kind of thing. But man, you get a pork roll, egg and cheese, a little salt, pepper, ketchup on there. Oh man, is that living?
Where did White Castle originate?
Ohio.
Is it? Okay.
I think it's Ohio.
It was one of the food staples that I had growing up, usually after 11 o'clock at night. White Castle, that rivals Gold Star and Skyline chili, in my opinion. Just my opinion.
Oh, you know what? Wichita, actually.
Wichita?
Yeah, but they're headquartered in Columbus, Ohio now.
Huh. Well, we'll take credit for that, state of Ohio. Yeah, Paul.
As a Chicago guy, I don't think I want pizza as my signature for the city. I like Chicago deep dish pizza, but I think even New Haven might be better. And there's some good Chicago deep
Wait,
dish.
you think New Haven might be better?
Yeah, I think it is.
New Haven is dominant. New Haven is the greatest pizza spot in the world.
I agree. I like some Chicago deep dish pizzas, but some of them are too big. I would say Italian beef sandwiches for Chicago would be, if you're a local, if you're a true Chicagoan.
Oh, boy.
Chicago-style hot dogs are great. Deep dish pizza is great. But I think the Italian beef sandwiches with the sport peppers and the different types of peppers and dipped.
Oh, yeah.
That
au jus.
Yeah, I think that's in the stance with your elbows out. I think that's what people in Chicago would go with.
Yes, Eden.
That is probably the best thing I've ever had on the Traeger for a Meat Friday. I want to say it was just in the last couple of months. We made Italian beef sandwiches. Oh, my God. I think about them almost every day, about how great it was.
I do, too.
You don't think of your family every day, but you think...
If they came in with Italian beef sandwiches, I would be like, hey, you guys are here. Great.
Hey, I'm happy to see you, honey. A couple of things. The Cleveland Browns continue to deny that there's anything to the Odell Beckham Jr. trade report. Now, it wasn't a report, in fairness to the radio host at WFAN. It was, I'm hearing. It wasn't a report. It was, the dangerous I'm hearing. And then people took off with it. They took off with it for a couple of reasons. Because it's Odell Beckham Jr., and these have been slow news days. Now, could it still happen? Yes. But as I told you, the person I reached out to, my source said, why would Mike Zimmer bring in another headache after just getting rid of another headache in Stephon Diggs? You forget Odell Beckham is only 27. And when I asked Boomer Esiason, former NFL quarterback, and of course NFL analyst, I said, when did it start to change for Odell Beckham? And he said, when he did that interview, who was he? Who was the rapper who interviewed him?
Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne, is that right? And Lil Wayne asked him about Eli, and he couldn't say anything nice about Eli Manning. And then it felt like he sort of talked his way out of New York. And then you go to the Cleveland Browns. And look, there's no secret of the fact that he didn't want to go to Cleveland. He waited forever to go to Cleveland, like physically go to Cleveland. And when he got there, all he kept talking about was how angry he was, or he's going to get back at the Giants. He still hasn't left the Giants, I think. But if you get him to understand collectively, you guys could do something special this year. And it'd actually be better for Baker if he didn't have Odell, in my opinion, there. If you got a younger receiver in the draft, and because you want to focus on Odell because he's so talented, but I think it disrupts the flow of the offense there. But from what I'm told, that the Vikings were probably looking to draft a wide receiver, not Odell Beckham Jr. III. We'll talk to the director of the Chicago Bulls' Last Dance documentary. He'll join us. PGA Commissioner Jay Monahan will join us. Golf's pushing its way back. Maybe golf in June. Hour 2 coming up. Now, I had Will Ferrell record a song for me. It's called "Stat of the Day." Now,
Oh yeah.
okay. Now I'm gonna play it for you, and if it's something hits you and you feel like maybe you want to do a stat of the day for us, this is how Will Ferrell sounded when he did it.
Stat of the day, stat of the day, that stat of the day, stat of the day. Here comes that what? Stat of the day.
What do you think?
Oh, well, Will Ferrell is fine. And he's,
Whoa, you got your guitar. Whoa, I can hear it. All righty. I love it.
All right. I'm going to have to put you on speakerphone now. Hold on.
Here we go. Let me give a formal introduction here.
Okay.
All right, here you go. A Grammy, Oscar-winning singer, songwriter, 25th anniversary of her iconic Yes I Am album. Chiefs fan, thinks Lambeau is yummy, and here to offer us a stat of the day is the great Melissa Etheridge.
Woo! Stat of the day, stat of the day, yeah. Stat of the day, stat of the day. Here comes the stat of the day.
Yeah! Oh, I love you. That's awesome. That's awesome. How often do you just pick up the guitar, like on a daily basis? Every day?
Well, I've done it since I was about 8, so I've just done it a lot.
But every day you pick it up?
Well, I wouldn't say every day. There's days I don't pick it up, but most days.
Days you hate it?
No, I never hate it. I love it.
Yeah, I was just curious about that. Where you look at it, and I don't think I'm wired to play guitar.
No, you're wired to think sports, and you do it every day, right?
Yeah, but I want to play guitar. Can't I do both?
Well, I want to play sports.
Why is it that you get musicians who want to be athletes or actors, and it's always everybody wants to be something other than what they are?
Yeah, well, we all have an appreciation for people that can do, fun, amazing stuff.
I'd love to, if you need like somebody to sing for you, I'd be more than happy to help you, like a background vocal.
Careful now, I play New York all the time.
Whoa. Yeah, you don't. I don't care how often you play New York. You don't want me singing background for you. Yeah. Now, were you on tour with Blondie and Joan Jett?
Yeah, a couple years ago, really fun. I did a show with both of them. It's just great. I mean, it's funny. I think the atmosphere is changing now. It used to be you could only have one woman like on the radio at a time, or one woman in a concert lineup. But nowadays, people are getting a little braver and seeing that women headlining doesn't turn men away. So they like rock and roll.
But Joan Jett's always been one of my favorites. I think
oh yeah, she's badass.
Joni never compromised. That's who she is, and take it or leave it. And I love that. But that's the way you've been too, and even Deborah Harry with Blondie. So
well,
that's
the rock and roll feeling. It's like, hey, I know I don't fit your norms, but come on, rock to this. Let's move.
So I know you're up here, I think, in November in this area.
Yeah, coming back doing my holiday tour.
What's that encompass?
What's that? That's all the hits and all the fun with some holiday songs put in there. I put out a holiday album a few years ago, and it's just a lot of fun.
Buckle up, boys. Time to go to work.
Dan Patrick and Welcome to the Dan Patrick Show.
Truly amazing.
Just a week away from the NFL Draft.
Extremely confident.
Nobody brings you bigger guests or better experts.
Dan Orlovsky, football analyst, former NFL quarterback.
Think of all the quarterbacks that we've talked about in the draft in the last 15, 20 years, that when the first 2 or 3 things out of people's mouth are, he's big, he's strong. More often than not, those cats have failed because that stuff doesn't matter. It should be the other way, the mental. And so that's what concerns me about Justin Herbert. Is like no one's going, man, he's got great instincts. Or, gosh, his accuracy is ridiculous. Or he's just got this ability to make all these different kinds of throws. Those are all the things that people talk about, or like that I talk about, that he struggles with.
Broadcasting from the Mercedes Man Cave and the Danettes homes, this is Dan Patrick.
Hour 2 on this Friday, a Traeger Meat Friday. We're serving up French dip on the Traeger grill. Also, Meat Friday, the Meat Madness, the Final Four, the Hebrew National Championship will be decided today. Got about an hour and a half before we crown our champion, and our champion will receive the Traeger grill. Paulie and I in the Man Cave, Fritzy, McLovin, and Seaton at their respective homes. And wherever you are, glad you're part of the program. If you'd like to watch, you can on youtube.com/The Dan Patrick Show. And you can listen on our great radio affiliates around the country, numbering 362. College sports is changing rapidly. The decision to allow players to market their own image, that was a big step forward. Remember that? That seems like that was a long time ago. But a new development has arisen that could have bigger implications for college basketball. Jalen Green is the #1 recruit in the country. Instead of announcing where he was going to go to college, he announced that he's going to join the NBA's G League. High school players are going overseas. The NBA Developmental League is willing to pay real money here. He could make $500,000. He could also get a shoe deal here. And he was projected to be the #1 pick in the 2021 draft. And at some point soon, players will be able to jump from high school to the NBA. But for now, Green's path could become a popular one. And look, college basketball will survive. You just won't have those top-end, top-tier marquee stars in there for 1 year. You know, Zion Williamson, let's say, if he came along in a couple of years, would go right out of high school to the pros. You're still going to have good college basketball players. You may not have the superstars. Zion could be the last of a long line of great players who came in and were one and done. R.J. Hampton and LaMelo Ball, they went over to Australia. And, you know, Ball could be, he'll be a top 5 pick. There are options there. I still don't understand why, you know, Adidas, all the shoe companies, Nike, I would just have an academy. And, you know, let's just cut out the nonsense. Let's, you know, full transparency and just say, hey, just come in. We're going to develop you as a basketball player and as a person. You know, you're going to understand a checkbook. You're going to understand real estate. You're going to understand investments. You're going to understand, you know, a variety of things that will help you go from high school or 1 year in the G League or an academy to the NBA. Because the biggest knock you'll find, NBA coaches and GMs will say, we're taking 18-year-olds and they're just not mature. So you're babysitting. Not everybody is KG. Not everybody's Kobe. You know, not everybody's LeBron. And that concerns them is you have these players. You remember Jermaine O'Neal? He was an 18-year-old drafted by the Blazers, and he sat for a couple of years. Then by the time he's ready to really provide, you know, pay off, he's a Pacer. You babysat him for 3 years, then all of a sudden the Pacers get him, and he becomes an all-star. That's a big concern for these teams. I may get you from 18 to 21 or 22, and then I lose you when you start to become a man here. I also wonder about this. You know, this Bulls documentary, we'll talk to the director of the Last Dance coming up a little bit. Michael Jordan today in high school would not be a surprise. Michael Jordan would be known. Michael Jordan was Mike Jordan until he hit the jumper to win the national championship. That's when he became Michael Jordan. There was always, Roy Williams always talked about seeing Jordan and saying, I just saw the best player I've ever seen. And, you know, Roy's probably in the minority, but Roy saw him and recruited him to North Carolina. But Michael wouldn't be a secret here. We would know about him, just like Zion Williamson. He would be a YouTube sensation there. And it would be a little bit different. Because when you watch, you know, and I watched those games, obviously, with North Carolina, they had Sam Perkins and James Worthy were first-round draft picks. I mean, they had a star-studded team. And Michael always had that wow moment. I always thought Worthy was a better player. At least 1 year, I thought James was a better player than Mike. And then you could see where Mike got confidence. And then I think he realized if he was better than the players at North Carolina, he was going to be better than anybody else he was going to face. And the confidence level where he became Michael Jordan from where he was as Mike Jordan, completely different. But this